guys, good morning. All right, so for our reading lesson today, we're going to be going over how to find theme. Okay, and we're going to be doing it differently than we did in class the last time that we talked about theme. Okay, so just to remind you, theme is the moral or the lesson that the author wants you to understand from reading their book. So it's what you learned as a person. Like, how did you grow to be better after reading this book? What did you learn? Okay, so our first step is to finish your text. Okay, can't find theme without finishing your book. So if we were reading The Three Little Pigs and we stopped after the first pig built his house of straw, we would not know that the third pig built his house out of bricks and that he saved the two other pigs and the wolf ran away. So we wouldn't know that hard work pays off in the end, because the third pig spent a lot of time building his house and making it better. He didn't slack off in the beginning like the other two pigs, and he ended up saving the day. Okay, but we wouldn't know that unless we finished our text. So you have to finish your book to find your theme. Okay, so step 2 is to create a list of topics. Topics and theme are different. Topics are like one word, like courage, family, love, bravery. Okay, that is not theme. A theme is a sentence. Okay, topic is one word, theme is like a phrase or a sentence. All right, so instead of me using a book today, I am going to use Frozen as an example. We will read a book, but I'm going to use Frozen as an example. So, let's see. Blue marker. All right, so a list of topics for Frozen. This is fine. Sorry. All right, so a list of topics on Frozen would be, most importantly, love. There's also fear. Elsa was afraid of her powers. Anna was afraid that her sister wasn't going to be safe. A lot of people were afraid. Another one is trust. So we have trust also. Elsa is always trying to get Anna just to trust her and leave her alone and say, you know, she's trying not to get her to know about her power. She says, trust me, because she doesn't want to hurt her. There's trust between Anna and the prince, the bad prince. So that was, she trusted him way too easily, and he ended up, you know, trying to take the palace from him. So trust was one. Power. So there were people trying to take over the palace so that they would have more power. Elsa had a lot of power because she had magical powers. Then we also have family. Okay, so that was a big one. Elsa and Anna, they stuck together at the end, and they learned that they should have stayed together the entire time. Right, so we have family was also a really big one. At the end, we find out how strong Elsa and Anna are whenever they work together. And another one is to be yourself. That is what Elsa struggles with ever since she was a kid, and she hurt Anna for the first time, and they made Anna forget about her powers, and so she had to really be careful about actually being herself around Anna. And then whenever she grew up, she ran away to the mountains so that she could just be herself and not have to worry about hurting anybody. So that was a really big topic. So that's actually going to be one that we use for our theme. So we did step 2, we created a list of our topics, and now step 3 is to pick a topic and write what the author thinks about it. Okay, so I know that this isn't a book, but I'm just going to use the author because that's what you're going to be using for your assignment. Okay, so you write, the author believes blank, and you write about the topic that you pick. So the topic that, we're going to pick 2 topics today, but we're going to start with one. And it's going to be yourself, and what's the other one? so I have on my board, the author believes. You always are going to start out with this, okay? And then you're going to write your sentence. So the author believes what about being yourself, okay? So the author believes that you should be yourself and don't apologize for it. All right, so this is my sentence. So I did number 3. And some notes down here, it says, don't be vague. So vague means like, don't just say being yourself is important. You can say anything is important. Love is important, okay? So don't be vague, be specific, write a bigger and better sentence than just something is good, bad, or important, okay? All right, and then next is don't use names, okay? So do not use the character names in your author believes sentence, okay? So it should not be the author believes that Anna should be herself and not apologize for it. Okay, so you're trying to use this sentence to matter for anybody, okay? For you, for me, for your friend, for your mom, okay? That anybody could read this sentence and think, oh yes, I learned that, okay? So you would say you or the person, okay? Do not use character names, all right? Because that makes it not the theme, that just makes it like the main idea, okay? And we're not doing main idea, we're doing theme, okay? So do not use character names. No character names, and don't be vague. All right, so step 4 is cross out the author believes and make a complete sentence, okay? So then you go up here with your sentence, and if you wrote it on a piece of paper, then just cross it out, but I'm just going to, I'll cross it out. All right, I crossed it out, the author believes, cross it out. So then I read the rest of my sentence. That you should be yourself and don't apologize for it. It doesn't sound like a complete sentence to me, so let's see what else I need to cross out. That you should. That doesn't sound like a good way to start my sentence, so I'm going to cross out that. Let's see. You should be yourself and don't apologize for it. Okay, that one sounds better, but you need to have a capital letter, so I'm going to erase this. All right. You should be yourself and don't apologize for it. Or you could even just cross out the whole 2 first lines. Just make this a capital B. And it's be yourself and don't apologize for it. Okay, that can apply to anyone. It's not just for Elsa. That could be for me, you know? So, last step. Oh, ta-da! That is your theme. Okay, so that is one theme for Frozen. We're gonna do it again. Alrighty, so step 1, finish your text. We did that. Step 2, create a list of topics. We already did that, so we're just gonna pick another one, which is love. 3, pick a topic and write what the author thinks about it. Alright, so I have my sentence done. The author believes that love triumphs. So that means like beats, overpowers. Love triumphs hate. Period. Because in the end, the love between Kristoff and Anna and Elsa and Anna, that beat out the feelings of hate from the bad prince and people that were trying to take her castle and were trying to hurt Elsa. So we know that based on that movie, love triumphs hate, okay? So, then, let's see, were we vague? No, we didn't just say love is important, love is good, okay? Do we use names? No. No Elsa, no Anna, no Kristoff, no Olaf, okay? So we just have the author believes that love triumphs hate. All right, and then number 4, cross out the author believes. All right, so cross out the author believes. All right, and make a complete sentence. So that love triumphs hate. Sounds weird again. So cross out that. Let's see what we have. Love triumphs hate. Except we need to make this a capital L because it's the beginning of our sentence. So our theme is love triumphs hate. Okay? So whenever you're turning in your assignment, you can show me what you crossed out and stuff, but underline your theme, okay? Love triumphs hate. That is your theme. It needs to be clear what your theme sentence or phrase is, okay? Good job. I know y'all are gonna do awesome on this. Alrighty. So, and you can just keep doing that for each topic that you do. A book can have lots of themes, lots of topics, okay? It doesn't just have to have one. Alright, so for today, I'm going to read y'all a book that somebody very special to me wanted me to read to y'all, okay? It is called Big Butt Dinkleface. Story by James Halpin, illustrated by Tanya Reseda. Alright, there once was a lonely boy, caring and kind, who tried very hard for a friend he might find. But the bullies just laughed, calling him a disgrace. He was known at his school as Big Butt Dinkleface. A nice boy was he, always wanting to play, but the other kids constantly sent him away, for Big Butt Dinkleface was different than most. He had a butt twice as big as a Sunday pot roast. But it wasn't just big, it was loud and explosive. His farts could peel paint like an acid corrosive. And the smell. Oh, the smell was just terribly toxic. Anybody who sniffed it would beg him to stop it. And so it went that day after day, poor Dinkleface had no way he could play. At recess he sat all alone in a tree, while the others played games, happy as could be. Then, one day, something terrible happened at school. 3 robbers burst in and said, "Give us your jewels." All the kids on the playground jumped up, ran away. Those trapped in the school had no choice but to stay. Dinkleface watched from his perch in the tree. Then he took a deep breath and said, "I'll set them free." Calling on all of the courage he could muster, he marched to the building, perhaps like old Custer. So it takes a lot of courage to go and save people that are really rude to you. He burst in the school, going through the front door, and staring at the robbers, he shouted, "No more!" He turned around, aiming his butt at their heads. His eyes began straining, his face grew quite red. For a moment, the robbers didn't know what to do. Then they laughed and they said, "Now we'll rob you, boy, too." At the very same moment, they pulled out their guns. Dinkleface bombed them. 5 megatons. Ugh. Can't see it. The sound shook the walls and shattered the windows. The robbers were dazed by the battering wind flow. But then, when the shockwave had settled at last, the robbers were hit with the smell of the gas. The smell was quite wretched and perfectly gross. It made each of them puke just a bit in the throat. The stench was so nasty and foul to smell, and so powerful that it rang alarm bells. The smell was so awful it's hard to describe, but in the name of science, let's give it a try. It was something like rotting eggs left in the sun, or maybe a pond that's been drained, leaving scum. That's not quite right. No, it was more like manure, a pile from 10,000 cows, perhaps more. Or maybe 'twas more like the smell of dead fish that were left out too long and have started to squish. The smell of garbage truck might be a match if it's hot out and flies were all swarming the trash. Perhaps, though, the smell could best be described as a smell so rancid that vile vultures cried. However you describe it, the effect was the same. The robbers were going quite out of their brains. Their faces all turned different colors of green as they stumbled around seeking air that was clean. When they finally found their way to the outside, they had tears in their eyes that made them go blind. In their rush to get out, they smacked into a tree, and they fell to the ground in a pile, all three. The robbers were left feeling most unwell, as they were loaded up and taken to a holding cell. Then all the kids ran to Big Butt Dinkleface, and they said, "Hey, that butt of yours actually is great." They hoisted him up to ride on their shoulders, with the weight of his rear pushing down like big boulders. They cheered and they shouted and formed a parade. Dinkleface just saved the day. Hooray! The principal came out and thanked him sincerely for being so brave to risk death quite nearly. So although his butt was stunningly vast and loud and disgusting when he let out a blast, Dinkleface gained many friends on that day, and from then on the kids always asked him to play. But now when they call him to join in their games, they no longer use that mean-spirited name. Never again was he Big Butt Dinkleface. Now he's known simply as Little Bobby Chase. The end. So, for that book, now we're going to come up with a list of topics for you to use to find theme. Okay, so, alrighty. Let's think of some topics on that one. The main one that I think of is bullying. For sure, they're really rude to him at the beginning. Bobby Chase exhibited courage. He said it took a lot of courage for him to go and try and save people that were being rude to him. He was very brave. He showed bravery for risking himself. At the end, the kids showed acceptance. They accepted him for who he was, and after realizing that he can help them with his farts, basically, they realized that he was just like any other normal kid. So we have acceptance and friendship. And at the beginning, whenever he was sitting on the tree, he was pretty lonely. So we can put loneliness was one. And if there's any more that you would like to come up with, you can. But I will post these on Teams, and you can use these 6 topics to make some theme sentences. I want you to pick 2 topics, okay? Pick 2 of these topics and make 2 theme sentences using these steps, okay? Alrighty, and if you need to watch this video and watch me write about Frozen while you do yours on Big Butt Dinkleface, then that's totally good, because this is kind of a new way of doing it, okay? So if you need any help, just call me and let me know. Alrighty, bye guys. Hope you like the book.